Hey guys, as promised in my previous video, I'll be doing a deck list profile for my Eva I deck list that I use in Wgp Singapore. That went 1 win, 1 draw and 4 loss, all because of really bad ING on my side and my opponent becoming chrono all of a sudden for no much of a reasoning. And you know, I'm in NS on course, so I don't have much time on my hand to film videos. So yeah, since I have PM off, I have the time to do videos. So yeah, starting off with the right line. Obviously, is the Eva right line, the 0, 1, 2 and 3. We all know what it does. I mean, this gonna be a pretty short video since we all know what Eva does anyways. So yeah. Got grade 3 lineup, of course, is the grade 3 Obscurate. 23k beater, 33k on Persona Ride with an extra crit when caught by card effect, and with intercept and 10k shield. And the 10k shield gets even better with the new upsurge with double red released or reviewed during Thursday stream, and it's pretty decent, even including the Lady Fencer, which is mainly a blitz support, and the blitz order as well. Pretty decent, like using Obscurate and Upsurge and the Blitz order it's just a free 35k shield. It's pretty big for one card because using one card just for a 35k shield is a lot of shield for just one card. It's not much, especially since a lot can hit past 50 to 60, but it's still pretty good just to have like a 35k shield using one card. Continuing on, Persona Ride, 10k, draw 1, yeah. And even like, I'm gonna be honest, Poison in Paradise Eva, I'm a little bit disappointed because I have a bit high hopes, but I still really like Poison in Paradise Eva. It's a good upgrade to Eva, kind of like, I guess like a slight form, but it's a pretty good card. I'm on right searching for any research order such as the grade 3 research order that allow us to top 5 core anything we want, but usually it'll be nothing but 3 triggers, 1 to 2 orders and 1 good into core. Definitely not me in WGP. And you know, rest so +1 rest 3 set orders, research set orders give one of the glitters as 5k, which you know you do want it in your hand and be able to play almost every turn, which is why you play versatile. But because of Poison in Paradise Eva, you can actually cut down on versatile or remove it completely, since it wastes a soul to top 7 search, and there's much better booster than versatile as well, such as this plain dock that gives all your grade 2 boost, so that you can make your Obscurate grade 2 boost if you want to. And the fact that it's a quote-unquote free core, it's just like Person in Paradise Eva second skill is the same as base Eva second skill, where it's just on attack core Obscurate, but the difference is it's technically is free because you don't CB nor use Oblast, you just bind the original Eva as a cost, and you can call Obscurate from hand deck or drop, and you can call the rear, giving both her and Obscurate plus 5k, which does makes a pretty decent magic number, since you make Obscurate 38 by itself, which is 25k for you just 25k. You're just asking for 30k minimum to guard Obscurate, which is pretty annoying. And not only that, you do right back into the old Eva, but my problem is that it doesn't do much against bind, and Vermilion is gonna be a big threat to Eva because there's nothing Eva can do to counter Vermilion at all. Like nothing you can do apart from just trying to steamroll them over with advantage. But Vermilion, from what I've seen and tested a bit, they gained a decent amount advantage, quite for like almost barely any cost, or to like little to no cost, especially the really dumb order that is literally a free discard, and you can still even use it when you in the drop for no cost or reasoning. And the fact that it just gives power for each time that your Vanguard hits to your front row rear, making them like even bigger, while the fact that they're already quite big is very annoying. And Phoenix is a thing, but like then again, Phoenix does call itself back in V, so it's fine. It's just a grade 1 8k, but it's still really annoying that Vermilion gets just straight up counters Eva for like no reasoning. Like, you know, Eva counters almost everything, but Eva, since you know they can't retire Obscure, but they do get free plus, which kind of makes it into a stalemate. Like, see who tag up first, or see who can steamroll each other first. So yeah, that's why we do play 4 grade 2 Obscure, which helps to, you know, slow down Eva a bit, or some other decks that has important front row units, since on call by our card effect. Again, our card effect different from Obscure grade 3, which is called by any card effect including opponent's prison. It just, you know, 15k whacking the entire front, which is just Vermilion. It's just Vermilion. Like back then, you know, before Vermilion becomes Brawler out nowhere, choosing Circle to attack, casually binding there for no reasoning. So yeah. And again, it also works with the new Blitz order and Upsurge, since you know it's also a tanky shield and it's grade 2. Of course, we do play a new card in set 10, which is Habitable Zone, the cycle card for Renegade 2. We need to play 2 because it does use CB, and you don't really want to use it or like have too much of him, since the one problem with Eva is that you do need your personal right, and you're not really guaranteed to get personal right in the at all. And another problem with Eva, in my opinion, is sometimes you don't know what you want to discard in your hand, since you do have research order, at the same time you do have the personal right, and you also don't have much that you do want to discard, since there's trigger you can discard, but you have to think about whether you want to discard the future, like the next turn or next few turns, aggro potential or your defensive potential to have it next turn. So yeah, so Pin Touche is fine because again, it does need personal right to make you great use of it. But the best thing about it is again the second part, which the best one is that you have it in your hands starting first or even going second, which technically both works, since the first skill is the usual: when this card doing the right phase from hand, so +1, put this card at the bottom of the deck, draw 1. Yeah, as you can see, grade 1 and grade 2 Eva, search your deck and shuffle it. So theoretically, which not theoretically, which essentially means like going first or second, or like the first turn, discarding Habitable Zone, right? If you're going second, you have 3 things to resolve: the draw 1 from grade 0 Eva, the search from grade 1 Eva, and the cycle from Habitable Zone. So the plan is always use Habitable Zone first, or draw from Eva first, then Habitable Zone and searching to shuffle. But what I usually do is Habitable Zone first to so +1, draw 1, then search with grade 1 Eva to shuffle the deck, and then draw again from the grade 0, or again grade 1 Eva first, and then Habitable Zone first, then grade 1 Eva if you're going first, so you can shuffle your deck and have a higher chance of drawing back into him to discard or to play it during your personal right turn. Which is why I think that cycle cards in Brand Gates it's pretty whack, especially the fact that the right line searches for set orders, which lets you shuffle, and that means you could just increase the possibility of drawing back into it So playing 2 is pretty fun since you're gonna shuffle your deck anyways. And the second effect is the personal effect. When placed on rear, if you have personal return this turn, CB1, search the deck for a set order, review it, and add it to your hand. And for this turn, you may play up to 2 orders, and the next set order that you played is you do not play by paying the pay cost, which essentially means it makes the after you resolving this effect to search, your next order, your next set order is basically free. So you can use it to search for dock and then play for dock without paying the CB, or you can, I don't know, something else. Well, like, yeah, I have no idea what other set orders that require cost that people actually place that is not in Eva. So yeah, but it's still a very, very strong card since it allows you to play 2 research orders, which effectively means you could just play 2 the words of blue laboratory, or 1 laboratory and 1 of the grade 1 research order. Hence, this is the experiments henceforth, so that you can, you know, go to Seoul and refund the CC, and so use for habitable zone, and also, you know, cycle back the obscurate that you used to discard or call over or retired, or got retired by intercepting or discarding during the right phase or guarding with it. So yeah, of course the 4th, you do need it, you don't have it, GG, good game. Especially against Ganiva, this is the most important card against Ganiva. And since, you know, it stalls, so that Ganiva will keep drawing and potentially deck out, as they might do that to you, or, you know, they must steamroll you. So you have to steamroll them back. That's why you have to play 4 PGs. And no one at Materia Sensitive, because it bypasses guard restrict. So yeah. Alright, next we have a grade 1 card that not a lot of people has thought about using it, since most Eva deck list has a lot of grade 3s, so a lot of grade 3s, all this amount of grade 2s, and not much boosting apart from versatile or using, so some that you'll be using mobile mine or even using dock to make your grade 2 obscurate booster and your habitable zone. But it's a card that is really good for pushing in the mid to late games, or a really good card for a stall matchup against Ganiva or a defensive deck or some other defensive deck, which is it does red in DPT 010, hitting Kaiju Radiabio. Very, very simple effect. Auto rear when this win boost, so +1 for this battle. If the total grades of your set order in your order zone is 3 or more, this unit gets +5k power. Then 5 or more, then +5k power. 7 or more, then +5k power. You have a total of 7 green in your order zone, which you obviously have. I mean, turn 3 you have 5, almost guaranteed to get 5, and turn 4 you almost guaranteed to get more than 7. It will be a very simple 23k booster. Pairing it with Great Obscurate, 23 plus 13 is 36, and with you 46. 46 attacking with 2 crits. It is demanding opponents to guard 25, 38, 25k guards, 25k 35. It is demanding opponent to guard 35, and with personal right, you're forcing opponent to guard 45. It's a weird number with like a 6, but it's like a middle weird since you're not like directly forcing it's just like a really weird awkward even number, since you're like a bit 2k more, like 2k short of making it a 40k or 50k to guard, but 45k drop or 35k drop just to guard is pretty annoying as well, since it is about 2 to 3 triggers to drop off or PG, and just only all it does is just use a soul. If you personal right, or you know, using this, you can actually gain back quite a bit of soul and you use him for quite a while, like in the late games against like a stall match against Ganiva. Since I do have a matchup against Ganiva, not in WGP but in like a different tournament. Again, like Carnival was stalling me and I was just stalling him as well, so that we won't get not damage to each other. But because of him, I was able to like shave down the Carnival's hand from like 15 all the way to about 8 to 6, and then he doesn't have much they can do, so he just have to try to push me since we're both low on deck sizing, and this card really helps to just demanding for more to guard. And of course, we do need to play 2 Borrow Mines. Some deck remove Borrow Mine or they play 1, but I say playing 2, it's pretty decent or it's pretty good against either your opponent damage denying you by giving you barely any CB or like 1 CB, or like, you know, you're just using a bit too much resources for a turn. So this will help you to recoup a bit, and I really do like it when going first or first retreat turn, where you can actually like kind of use a bit of your CB, then use him to go to Soul CC, and then Eva to use the CB again to call out. And that's what you mostly want to do with Borrow Mine as well, either to CC so that you can see CB using Eva, or you can CC or you can CC after using Eva's skill to recoup it at the end. And the Soul does help with your radio Radiabios Soul +1 as a boosting cost. For our trigger lineup, it didn't really change much. It's still 4 fronts. I still believe that fronts it's better than draw. Draw does give you hand advantage, which is good, but in Eva, where you're playing quite a big, you're playing 8 orders and 3 personal riding, there's I think 11 cards that you can't really guide with. Drawing is a bit hard, it's a bit tough, and 20k shield helps a lot, especially against a deck that does a bit of magic numbers or really big, and 20k shield and that extra 5k from the front helps a bit in your guarding. And our crits, it's still 8 crits, but I did decrease the amount of effect triggers to 3, since you don't really need effect trigger usage that much for crits. In my opinion, you can actually just play 8 vanilla crits, since you rarely want to use the boosting to soul in, like very barely. I only use it like a few times just because I need the soul for him against like some matchup where I don't have much soul or not enough soul. But other than that, it's really rare. But the 2k does help a bit in making magic number when using radio, beer and obfuscate, since it's an awkward 46-56, but with Deca Corp, the 2k make it 48-58. So you make it less awkward and forcing them to got 5k more, which is pretty good. And a bit very annoying as well. Then for heals, of course, oh yeah, no, OT is Auto Breath. Even in the Festival Collection, I believe Auto Breath is still the best choice, since Brain Gate's OT Auto Breath is just cracked as fuck. It's more cracked than the red OT, which does help with multi-attacking by giving it your obfuscate, but 200 million, which technically bypasses hitting 100 million OT, and double crit and power, which just makes it even more annoying in obfuscated deck, where you're going to be having 2 to 3 double crit obfuscate turn or attacks, and you know, swing 1 is like 2 crit already, then Eva skill to call another 1 to get another crit, and you know, you have another one with 2 crit as well, and then second this just makes obfuscate 4 crit, and just like really annoying, since at that moment your opponent will be at around 3 to 4 damage, or maybe 5, and they have to guard this, like the other 2 obfuscate no matter what, since it's 4 crit and not 2. So yeah, And after OT, it's a heal. Of course, we play the Great Heal. Good for early games and against Jets and Messiah. You can replace the crit one for her, but you know Ganipa is meta as hell, so you can play one of him is fine. And then 2 just regular heal. Since regular heal is a base 15k shield, it's always decent to have normal 15k shield at 10k. So yeah, that is the deck list for my WGP. So yeah, for cards that you might not want to play, it's like if you don't really want to play a 3 Lady Abion, you can reduce it 1 to play one more Bowmine, or which what I did, which is replacing one of him for Evergreen. Since Evergreen is a pretty strong Blitz order that counters Overtrigger, but it's hard to use since you don't really know when your opponent will set your Overtrigger, and the fact that you can only use it after your opponent set the Overtrigger, it makes it like a bit annoying to use. So you can play Evergreen, or you can stack it out as well. So yeah, but I'm still going to be using Evergreen for now because it's a decent counter to when your opponent set OT. Yeah, when they say OT, you do waste a bit if they don't attack with the OT column first, but with the smaller column, you can use it 25k shield, and then it's hard for them to swing with the 100 million column, or you can just use it against the 100 million column, but you do waste the 25k power, the shield from the Evergreen. And or if you don't really, or another options that if you want to play bigger boosts, big power, but you want to be of an early aggro rush, you can play a Lady Fencer or something. Forgot her name. Her simple skill really simple is continuous rear. If you have 2 or more in order zone, plus 5k. So basically, when on grade 2 turn, she'll be 13k. So be swinging at 13k and remain as the 13k base for the rest of the game, because it does 5k and never specifies which player's turn. So it's just simply a 13k attacker on turn 2, turn 3 onwards, or a 13k booster, which is fine. But the card that I usually use, and you guys saw me using it in my previous view deck profile, which is Changing Stars, which is plus 2k on during your turn, plus 2k for each set order. It's still a very strong card, especially when Habitable is a thing, which increases your number of cards in your order zone even more in a single turn if it was not right, giving her like more power. And she's a decent early game aggro and a really good late game booster, but it's a bit consistent in compared to Radio Bia, and Radio Bia can easily go 20 plus without much effort, and she only get plus 2k with the same amount of orders during your turn 4, which is about 5. Yeah, which is about 5 orders you can personal and using Habitable Zone. She's only a 70k booster, while Review is a 23k booster, which makes him better as a late game option boosting, while Changing Star is more of a better as a early game aggro rush. So yeah, that concludes the deck profile at least. And of course, when set 11 drops, I'll obviously be doing a deck profile, but I'll be maybe doing 2 different deck lists, since Bushiroad really wants us to play the Blitz Order package in Eva, which I am quite interested in actually building it with. But there's also the more basic Eva deck profile without using the Blitz Order, which is just removing a bit of small amount of cards in this build and just adding the Paradise. You can and might not want to play Upsurge since it doesn't do much offensively, but it is a pretty good defensive card to use, especially in the Blitz Order package build for Eva. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and hope you guys enjoy this video, and again, this is a skeleton, and this is what I liked and how I like to play my deck with, and this is the final product for now of what my Eva is. But you know, again, it's not quote unquote fully best optimal. It's you know, everybody plays for first attack. So yeah, I ran more enough. Thanks guys for watching, and goodbye.